Today we're going to be talking about the 7 dancers group dance from season 4, episode 28 of Dance Moms. Let's start off with the costume. I hate the costumes. They're supposed to look like 7 dwarves, but they look like 7 idiots. Really just like trolls with white hair. I don't get the headpiece. I understand the headpiece is supposed to match like the head wrap that the dwarves wear, but it just looks stupid. It looks silly. Everyone has a super cheap AliExpress cotton t-shirt that has printed titles on it. Chloe is shady, Kendall is slouchy, Maddie is snobby, Sarah is stretchy, Kaleigh is smiley, Nia is sassy, and then Mackenzie is silly? Mackenzie is silly. But what are they supposed to do with these things? Like, what Maddie being snobby, Kendall being slouchy? Like, what am I, Chloe being shady? What do you want me to do with that, Abby? What do you want me to do? And then the colors of the shirts aren't even like well picked in order to complement their skin tones. It's like random colors, and they're not even assorted by like rainbow, and it's like, well, you're missing colors. It's just weird. I will also say white capri length leggings, a choice. And then why does everyone have a different black belt that's placed differently and has a different width? And like, everything's just weird about the costumes. I hate the costumes. These costumes are made for a Midwestern high school talent show number, not the stage of a dance competition on an internationally produced television series. An overview of the choreography: it's cheesy musical theater. There's tons of jumps, lots of sharp movements, and a few acro elements. There's a lot of marching to get to their line formation, whether they're in like a vertical line, horizontal line, diagonal line, they're getting to a line. I mean, it's the 7 dwarves. This dance is just so juvenile. It is so beneath every single girl on the scene, even Mackenzie. It would just be better suited as a mini dance. I think the minis would have had a wonderful time doing this number. I don't know why we didn't invite the minis or save this number until season 6 when we had minis. I don't know why we thought 14-year-old Nia and Chloe like need to be doing a 7 dwarves dance. They're like 5'7". Ain't nothing dwarf about that, boo. However, the subscribers on this channel are a little dwarvish. So if you want to go ahead and join the fam, go ahead and click the subscribe button. It would mean a lot to me. Thanks, friend. The girls start on stage with this like march, jump, over the legs, West Side Story kind of jump. But the formation in which they enter is not by like color coordination or by height or anything. It just seems really, really random. I wish that things had been done with more of a thoughtful eye of like what the costuming would look like and what the girls' heights would look like on stage, because it just looks really weird. There's spacing issues in the line, and then when they get to the toe touch, Maddie's like super lurch forward, and she's flexible enough where she doesn't have to like lurch forward to make it look higher. Her legs are gonna overextend just by nature. Sarah ends up stepping up on a turned in foot. As they're scooting back into the line, everyone needs to bend over more. This is musical theater. Bigger, what did Alyssa Edwards say? Bigger, you need to be bigger. Especially Nia, she was like barely bending over, barely sticking the butt out, barely contracting her core and allowing herself to scoot back with every movement. They do a formation to another line, and everyone does this like big yawn step out. It would have been cool for that to be a moment where everyone incorporated their character instead of just being, you know, sleepy. If it had been like, da, 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 like I'm smiley, or if it had been, I'm stretchy, I'm sassy. You know, like something different. I don't know what we've done for shady, and I guess like slouchy. Oh, I don't know what other options we had there, but it could have been cooler. As everyone does their individual moves, as Maddie turns to the center, it looks fine. If you blink, you'll miss it, but Sarah's pose, she's like fully bent over, like head up the butt. It's really wild. It's like an insane pose to choose, but I guess she's stretchy. After the turn sequence, Maddie doesn't get all the way around in her illusion. She like cheats it a little bit. Again, she has the core strength, she has the flexibility, she can totally get there. Going towards the middle of the dance, I want to see the shoulders down on the fan kick. And then during the isolations, everyone's just like on their own timing. Everyone's doing their own thing. We need more commitment to the movement. On this step, we're like turning in our feet and turning out our feet. I want to see that big difference. I want to see that like big change. Because again, it's musical theater. It has to be bigger. It has to be dramatic movements. We're not necessarily looking for ballet technique and turnout in that moment. You can go in, you can be a little bit more pigeon-toed. Before the back handsprings, as they're doing this thing, I really want to see the feet like dégagé and brush and brush and brush and brush and really activating their inner thighs to come back in instead of just like, almost like pinball machine. Back handsprings were nice, but again, the legs can always be straighter. They weren't Elton John, but they weren't, who's a straight man? I can't even think of a straight man. Because every man I think of, I'm like, oh, like Ryan Gosling. But is he though? As we get to the one knee on our after the back handspring, it would have been amazing for everyone to showcase their turnout in a moment. Instead, everyone was just kind of like parallel or even turned in. Would love to see some really good turnout there. That's when we can incorporate the ballet technique. And I hate that just because it's like cheesy musical theater, woo, that like our ballet or like our technical foundation has to suffer because of that. No, if anything, it should shine even brighter. Where are the arms meant to be placed? There was a lot of misplacement of the arms. Everyone was placing it differently. Also, are we parallel to the ground or are we like kind of lifted? Because there's a big difference in that. Or is it like parallel, lifted, parallel? Details. And again, in a dance this simple, the details should be super, super clean. Arms kind of got lazy on the marches. I really need to see the march and make it like you're whistling while you work. Girls need to suit new way higher. When they get to fifth, it should look like they have one foot with like heels coming out of both sides. The suit new felt really loose and not up on releve as high as it could have been, and not to a really close, tight fifth, engaging the inner thighs, working that inner thigh muscle. Props for doing a turn section in a dance. That's amazing, because Lord knows ALDC doesn't do a lot of that. This is the reason why not many of the girls are really getting to a full 90 degree. It was kind of like verging in like 60 land. It really has to be 90. Honestly, like 90 to 100 degrees, right? Because 90 is like bare minimum. It really has to be up. A lot of like arms coming into first during the Xoxo, they can stay in second, especially for a group turn section. It will look so much cleaner. Also, as they're entering quasi, really deep plie here so they can open up to second really, really big here. The deeper the plie and quasi in your Xoxo, the bigger you can open up to that 90 degree instead of 60. By the end of the turn section, it's a mess. Everyone is like spotting completely different directions instead of like four. Some people are spotting. It's just weird. Nia, the straddle pose, she could have been like in a full 180 degree straddle for her ending pose, but it was more so like, again, 60. Flexibility, we're so flexible. There's no way you can do like back layouts and needles and scorpions, but you can't do a full 180 straddle. And the ending poses were fine, but that could have been the moment for them to really show off their characters, because that's what I was really missing with the piece, like incorporation of the characters. I want to see more slouch. I want to see more snobby. I want to see the biggest smile you can give me. I want to see, oh, silly. I want to see like sassy. I want to see shady. I want to see all of that. I want to see the character. I wasn't really getting much of it. Just to be a musical theater number, the energy was so tame. I think the dance could have benefited from another dancer playing Snow White amongst the seven dwarves. And by that, what I really mean is Maddie more than likely would have been Snow White and everyone else would have been the dwarves, and she would have this gorgeous costume and everyone else would be in t-shirts and capri length white leggings. Needed more commitment to the character. I feel like no one's really committed to being their character throughout the piece. They wanted to like, I'll be snobby here, I'll be slouchy here, but I want to see you as slouchy, as snobby, as smiley, as silly throughout the entire number. You have to be like almost this over the top caricature of your personality. I should have known exactly who every girl was without a name on the shirt, period. For the standout performer, I'm gonna have to give it to the new girl, Kaleigh. Her technique was solid and she gave me smiley. I think out of all the like character portrayals, she tried the hardest of like always smiling. Although smiley is kind of like the easiest one to portray, but I feel like you could have done sassy and silly. Even snobby could have been a really big played up character, but she really gave me smiley. And for that, I give her props. Give her 10s, yes, give her a 10. The number ended up getting first overall. Kathy in the audience obviously disagreed. Not to be shady, but you can tell this is when the competition started getting like very invitational only. But if you know, you know, kind of like that situation. But Kathy was right, this is not a good dance. This is not a first overall, what, preteen division, whatever division dance. It's absolutely not that. It was a sloppy, cheesy musical theater piece, and it was cringe. The costumes were subpar, the choreo was subpar, and it wasn't like extremely entertaining either. You can tell the girls weren't committed to the piece. Overall, I think this is one of the worst group performances on the show, especially considering season 4, which has so many amazing group numbers. It's not even bad, like technically or premise-wise. I think everyone failed the girls. The costuming failed the girls. The choreo failed the girls. And the biggest sin of all was that it was boring. Like I said, this dance should have been saved for the minis a couple seasons later, or bring in the mini ALDC team and have them compete the dance. Or maybe Abby didn't have 7 dancers. Clock that T. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, or you can watch one of my other videos. I do a few Dance Moms reviews. And if no one else has told you this today, I believe in you, and I know your dreams are gonna come true. All right, until next time, friend. Bye!